If you want to change your life, it starts with what you do every single day. There are moments when giving up feels easier, when the weight of effort feels too heavy to carry. But the difference between where you are now and where you want to be depends on pushing yourself, even when it's tough. This video is about why showing up and grinding daily matters more than you think. It's about understanding that the hard work you put in today will shape your future, and how avoiding that effort can lead to regret. If you're ready to face the truth about success and find the strength to keep moving forward, this message will give you the motivation and clarity you need. Stick with it, and you'll discover why pushing through discomfort is the only way to build the life you want. Let's get started. Number 1, discipline is the bridge between dreams and results. Discipline is what separates people who live with intention from those who live on autopilot. It's the daily decision to do what matters, whether you feel like it or not. When you have a dream, something you want to achieve, you can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation fades. Feelings change. Some days you wake up ready to go, and some days you don't. But the people who make it happen are the ones who do the work anyway. They build a routine around their goals, and they stick to it. You can have a great plan, a strong desire, a vision in your mind that lights you up, but none of it matters if you don't follow through with action. You can talk about what you want for years, but the moment discipline enters the picture, that's when you start making progress. Because discipline brings structure. It brings clarity. It gives you something to lean on when your emotions get in the way. If you want real results, you need consistency, not bursts of effort, but steady, repeated action, day after day, even when you're tired, even when no one notices, especially when no one is cheering for you. Those are the moments that build character. Those are the moments that build a future. People often wait for the right time to get serious. They think they need to feel ready. They think they need better conditions. But there's no perfect time. There's only now. If you want to become someone who gets things done, you have to start acting like that person today. Not later, not someday, right now. Discipline is personal. It's you against your excuses. It's the quiet promise you make to yourself that you'll show up, no matter what. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's not about proving anything to others. It's about keeping your own word. That's where self-respect comes from. That's where real pride begins. Not in the results, but in the process. When you train your mind to follow through, your life begins to shift. You don't wait around for energy to come to you. You don't wait around for ideal circumstance. You create momentum through action. You create clarity through doing. And over time, your discipline turns into confidence. Because you begin to trust yourself. You know you won't let yourself off the hook. You know you'll keep going, even when it's hard. It's easy to look at someone successful and think they had something you don't. Maybe they had better support. Maybe they had more resources. But what most people don't see is the discipline behind the scenes. The quiet mornings, the lonely nights, the missed parties, the hard choices, the days when they showed up tired, overwhelmed, and unsure, but still did the work. That's the part that matters. That's the part that no one talks about enough. Discipline is a skill. And like any skill, you get better the more you practice. The more you say no to distraction. The more you keep your promises. The more you stay focused on what truly matters. Every time you push through resistance, you're getting stronger. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. You're training yourself to rise above what's easy and do what's necessary. Without discipline, even the best ideas fall apart. You can start something exciting, but you won't finish. You can begin with energy, but you'll burn out when obstacles show up. But with discipline, you build something stronger than excitement. You build endurance, you build commitment, and that's what takes you from where you are to where you want to be. We all have the same hours in the day. What you do with those hours is up to you. Some people use them to move forward. Others use them to escape, to avoid, to delay. But time doesn't stop. Every day you either get closer to your goals or further away. Discipline is the tool that puts you on the right path. Not once in a while, but every single day. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the most talented. But you do need to be consistent. You do need to be disciplined. That's what makes the difference. Not just once, not just for a week, but again and again. Because that's how growth works. It's not always exciting, but it's always worth it. Every time you choose discipline, you become someone more prepared for success. You build habits that serve you. You take control of your day instead of letting it control you. You stop being a victim of your moods, and you start becoming the kind of person who gets results, not by chance, but by choice. People will notice the changes. They'll see your progress. They'll see your results, but they won't understand the daily decisions you made to get there. That's okay. You're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because it matters to you, because you're tired of starting over, because you want to know what's possible when you actually commit. If you want to see how far you can go, stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop asking for easy. Instead, start showing up. Start pushing through. Start keeping your word, even when no one is watching. That's discipline. That's the bridge between your goals and your reality. That's what separates people who dream from people who do. And once you start walking that bridge, you'll find something powerful. You'll realize you don't need to rely on feelings. You don't need to wait for the perfect day. You'll move forward, no matter what. You'll grind. You'll grow. And you'll keep becoming someone better than you were yesterday. That's where real life begins. That's what creates change that lasts. Discipline makes it possible. Discipline makes it real. Discipline makes it yours. Number 2, your habits shape your future. Build them on purpose. The life you want doesn't just appear. It gets built. And the pieces you use to build it are your habits. What you do every single day decides who you become. That's not something far away. That's something happening right now. The way you spend your mornings, how you respond to problems, the way you treat people, what you feed your mind, how you use your time when nobody's watching. Those things are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. If you don't choose your habits, they'll be chosen for you. You wake up and scroll through your phone. Now your focus is gone. You skip your plan for the day. Now you're reacting instead of leading. You put things off, and suddenly days turn into weeks. Time keeps moving, whether you're intentional or not. That's why habits built on purpose matter. They put you in charge of where your life is going, instead of just being pulled along by the current. Most people want change but keep their routines the same. They talk about improvement, but their actions don't reflect it. The truth is, nothing meaningful changes until your habits change. If you're serious about growth, you can't just rely on motivation or inspiration. You've got to look at your patterns. What are you doing every day that's helping you? And what are you doing that's holding you back? Change starts there. Not in a big leap, but in small, repeated decisions. The strongest people aren't necessarily born with an advantage. They just pay close attention to their habits. They decide how they start their day. They take responsibility for how they respond to setbacks. They feed their mind with knowledge instead of noise. They protect their time. They choose habits that move them forward, even if progress is slow. And over time, those choices become their foundation. When you look at someone successful, you're not just looking at talent. You're looking at the result of daily discipline. Their progress is built on routines they created with intention. That's something anyone can do. You don't need to be extraordinary to begin. You need to be honest about where you are and clear about where you want to go. Then ask yourself, what kind of person lives the life I want? Study that person. Then start acting like them before the results come. Your habits don't follow success. They lead it. It's easy to overlook the small things. You think skipping one workout won't matter. Eating poorly for one day won't affect you. Avoiding one hard conversation won't do any damage. But these small decisions stack up. If they go unchecked, they start shaping your identity without your permission. Then months go by, and you wonder why you feel stuck. That's why you have to act with purpose. You have to become aware of what you're allowing into your life. If something is hurting your progress, don't explain it away. Fix it. Good habits aren't always exciting, but they're powerful. They remove the need to think so much. You don't have to decide every day whether you'll take action. You've already decided in advance. That frees up your energy to go deeper, to perform better, to stay consistent. When you build good habits, they start carrying you through tough days. They create momentum. They keep you focused when distractions try to pull you off track. The mind is always watching. When you follow through on your habits, even in small ways, your mind takes notice. It says, "This is someone who keeps promises." That builds self-trust. And self-trust is one of the strongest forces you can have. Because if you trust yourself to follow through, your confidence grows naturally. Not from external praise, but from proof you've built through action. Your environment also matters. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the routines you build around your work, all of it influences your habits. If you're constantly around negativity or laziness, it becomes harder to stay sharp. That doesn't mean you cut everyone off. It means you take control of your space. You create structure. You protect your energy. You design a system that helps you win. One of the best questions you can ask yourself every night is, did my habits today move me forward or backward? That keeps you aware. It keeps you responsible. It makes you face the truth instead of making excuses. And when you notice something isn't working, you adjust. You don't need perfection. You need direction. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You just need to keep moving forward, one smart habit at a time. Many people are stuck because they think change is only about one big breakthrough. But real change is quieter. It's built in moments when no one is watching. When you decide to read instead of scroll. When you get up early even when you're tired. When you say no to distractions and focus on what matters. These are small wins, but over time, they create massive results. Every habit you build is a vote for the future you want. And every habit you ignore is a vote for staying where you are. You are either creating your future with intention or letting it be created by accident. If you want to live with purpose, you need to act with purpose. That starts by choosing habits that match the person you're trying to become. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. If you mess up one day, start again the next. Don't let one mistake become a pattern. Don't wait until things feel easy. Build your habits when it's hard. That's how they become real. That's how they last. Your future is shaped by what you do when it's not convenient, when it's not glamour, when there's no reward yet. That's the difference between wishful thinking and real change. Take your habits seriously. They're just routines. They are your tools. They are your system. They are the quiet builders of everything you want to create. Shape them with intention. Build them on purpose, because they're building your life. Number 3, comfort is a slow death. Choose discomfort to grow. Staying comfortable feels safe. It feels easy. It gives you the illusion that everything is fine, just the way it is. But what most people don't see is that comfort, when stretched out over time, quietly takes the life out of your potential. It dulls your ambition. It makes you settle. It convinces you that you don't need to change. But nothing meaningful happens when you stay in the same place. You stop learning. You stop pushing. And you stop becoming who you were meant to be. Growth doesn't happen in the space where everything feels familiar. It happens when you're uncertain. It happens when you stretch yourself to do something difficult. It happens when you take on challenges you've been avoiding. Those moments of discomfort are where your strength gets built. They're where your courage gets tested. If you avoid discomfort, you avoid the very things that would shape you. People say they want to improve their lives, but they often resist the discomfort required to do that. They want better health, but don't want to face the pain of discipline. They want to grow financially, but avoid the pressure of responsibility. They want stronger relationships, but don't want the vulnerability that comes with honest conversations. This is the trap. You want the outcome, but you run from the work. The work is not always pleasant, but it's necessary. The longer you stay in comfort, the more you start convincing yourself that discomfort is a threat. You label it as something to avoid, not something to embrace. But it's only through discomfort that you change your thinking, build resilience, and raise your standard. When you voluntarily do hard things, you begin to train your mind to see pressure not as a punishment, but as preparation. Growth takes effort, and effort brings stress, not the kind that breaks you, but the kind that forces you to rise. If everything around you is too easy, you're not building yourself, you're staying small, and eventually even your comfort becomes uncomfortable. You start to feel stuck. Not because you can't grow, but because you've chosen not to. You've chosen the short-term relief over long-term strength. That's why it's important to step into situations that stretch you. You speak up when your voice shakes. You wake up early when your body wants rest. You chase down goals when fear tells you to wait. These aren't punishments. These are decisions to move forward. If you wait until it's easy, you'll wait forever. Discomfort shows up first. The results come later. Your mind will try to protect you from effort. It will say, this is too hard. This isn't for you. Maybe later. That's the voice that wants you to go back to what's easy. But that voice has no vision. That voice doesn't want you to grow. You have to notice it, then act anyway. The longer you delay discomfort, the longer you delay progress. Because comfort won't hand you growth. You have to earn it. Look back at your own life. The times you've grown the most weren't when everything was smooth. They were during the tough days, the setbacks, the failures, the hard conversations, the times you didn't know what to do but kept going anyway. That's where you gained something real. You became wiser. You became tough. You stopped depending on ideal conditions and learned how to keep going regardless. Discomfort doesn't always look the same. Sometimes it's physical, like pushing your body in a workout. Sometimes it's mental, like facing a fear you've ignored. Sometimes it's emotional, like sitting with pain instead of avoiding it. But in every case, it pushes you past what you thought were your limits. And when you break through, you don't just gain results, you gain belief. You begin to see yourself differently. The way you build a stronger life is by doing things that are not yet comfortable. The more you do that, the more your capacity increases. What was hard yesterday becomes normal tomorrow. You adapt, you grow into the challenges, but you have to be willing to feel awkward at first. You have to be okay with not being good at something right away. That's how progress works. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence through discomfort. If you wait for life to get easier before you try harder, you'll never begin. You have to get used to acting in spite of resistance. Not because you like the struggle, but because the struggle shapes something in you that comfort never could. When you learn to lean into discomfort, you gain access to a level of strength most people never tap into. Most of what you want is just on the other side of the habits you're avoiding. You already know what needs to be done. The hard part is doing it. Not once, not twice, but again and again, until it becomes who you are. That's what builds a strong foundation. Not talking about it, not planning, action. Repeated action in the face of discomfort. Comfort doesn't prepare you for pressure. It softens you. It makes you second guess yourself. But discomfort forces you to become sharper. It teaches you how to stay calm under stress. It teaches you how to take action, even when your feelings tell you to stop. And that's the kind of person who gets things done. Some people live their whole lives avoiding challenge. They hide behind excuses. They build routines around comfort. And by the time they realize what it cost them, the time is gone. Don't let that happen to you. You don't have to be fearless, but you do have to be willing. Willing to try, willing to fail, willing to take on things you're not yet ready for. You don't grow by standing still. You grow by moving forward. Especially when it's tough. You build yourself by doing things that are hard, inconvenient, uncomfortable, because that's how you stretch your limits. That's how you build a mind that doesn't quit. That's how you create a future that's different from your past. Growth won't come to you. You have to go out and meet it, and it always waits on the other side of discomfort. Number 4, get clear on why you must show up daily. There's a difference between people who wish for change and people who create it. That difference often comes down to one thing: showing up. Every day you make a choice. You either step into your life with purpose or you drift through it without direction. The people who make progress, who grow, who rise above average, they're not always the smartest or the strongest, but they are consistent. They show up when it's boring. They show up when it's hard. They show up when no one's clapping. Because they understand why they're doing it. Clarity is power. If you don't know why you're doing something, you'll never last. The moment things get tough, you'll look for a way out. You'll quit on yourself not because you're weak, but because your reason wasn't strong enough to carry you through. You have to know why you wake up early, why you train, why you study, why you build, why you sacrifice. That reason has to be bigger than your excuse. Otherwise, your excuses will win. Your why is not a slogan. It's not something you write on paper once and forget. It's something you feel in your chest. It's the thing that reminds you that you're not just here to get by. You're here to grow. You're here to give your best. You're here to change something. When that reason is clear, showing up doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like your responsibility. Too many people wait to feel motivated before they act. That's a mistake. Action fuels motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait to be in the mood to build your life. You build it whether the mood is there or not. The people who understand this don't need constant reminders. They don't need someone to push them every day. Their vision pushes them. They know what they're chasing. They know what's at stake, and that drives them. Showing up daily doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means doing the work, even when you don't feel your best. It means giving what you can, with what you have, from where you are. And when that becomes a pattern, you begin to trust yourself. You stop relying on outside praise because you've built something inside. Self-respect. Some days you won't feel like it. That's normal. That's part of being human. But you don't let feelings decide your future. You let your standards decide. You hold yourself to a higher level because you know what happens when you don't. You've seen the results drifting. You've felt what it's like to lose momentum. And you don't want to go back there. That's why clarity matters. You need a reason to keep going. When it's dark, when it's quiet, when no one's watching. Life doesn't reward you for what you think about. It rewards you for what you do. Every action you take is either bringing you closer to your goals or pushing you further away. That's why each day matters. You don't need giant steps. You need consistent ones. And those steps begin with showing up. Even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Even when it feels like nothing's happening. You keep showing up because that's who you are now. You can't build anything meaningful without discipline. And discipline isn't about punishment. It's about commitment. It's about saying, I'm going to be there, no matter what. When you operate with that mindset, your life begins to shift. You stop hoping things will get better and start making them better. You take control. You stop letting the day decide your mood. You decide your mood by how you show up to the day. Every time you show up, you're proving to yourself that you care, that this matters, that your goals are real. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're working. And when you work with intention, day after day, things begin to move. It might not be obvious at first, but over time, progress becomes visible. You start to see the results, not just outside, but within yourself. You build strength by doing what's necessary, not just what's easy. You grow by stepping up when it's hard. That kind of growth doesn't come from convenience. It comes from decision, from saying, I'm here again. I'm putting in the time. I'm not backing down. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. It becomes your rhythm, your pattern, your standard. One of the worst things you can do is be casual with your goals. Because when you're casual, you miss opportunities. You skip the small efforts that would have made a difference. And after a while, you don't even notice that you've stopped showing up. That's why it's important to stay awake, to stay intentional, to ask yourself every day, why am I doing this? And then act like that reason means something. Your time matters. Your effort matters. Your energy matters. You're not just passing time. You're building something. Every single day, you're adding to the story, and how that story ends depends on how seriously you take each page. You don't have to do it all at once, but you do have to do it daily, piece by piece, choice by choice. The most powerful thing you can do is decide that no matter how you feel, you will keep showing up, because you remember why it matters. You remember what you're fighting for. You remember who's counting on you. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your younger self. Maybe it's the future version of you who deserves better. Whatever the reason, hold on to it. Let it guide you. Let it pull you through the tough days. There's a different kind of confidence that comes when you stop quitting. When you look in the mirror and know that you've been doing the work, not talking about it, not thinking about it, doing it. That's the kind of strength that nobody can give you and nobody can take away. Clarity leads to consistency, and consistency leads to character. When you're clear on why you show up, you stop needing external motivation. You stop needing reminders. You know your mission. You feel it every time you wake up. And even when ends feel off, you don't disappear. You don't fall back. You lean in, you get to work. Because the reason you started is still alive in you, and that reason is worth everything. Number 5. Small wins every day lead to big changes. Big achievements don't come out of nowhere. They are built slowly, step by step, through the little things we do each day. Most people are waiting for something major to happen to feel successful, but they ignore the value of making small progress consistently. You want real change? It doesn't start with something huge. It starts with showing up, giving effort, doing your best in that one small moment, and doing it again tomorrow. The mistake many people make is they underestimate small actions. They think one workout doesn't matter, one healthy meal doesn't matter, 1 hour of learning doesn't matter, but that's not true. Every one of those small efforts adds up. If you do one small thing right every day and keep doing it, those pieces start to connect. Eventually you look back and realize you've built something powerful. I've seen people try to change everything all at once. They go too hard, too fast, and then they burn out. They lose motivation because they expected overnight results. That's not how it works. Real change is quiet. It happens slowly. It's built on discipline, not excitement. It's built by winning small battles over and over again. Small win is getting up when the alarm goes off. It's finishing what you start. It's keeping your word to yourself. It's choosing water over soda. It's taking 5 minutes to read something that helps you grow. It's saying no to something that doesn't serve your goal. These little wins seem simple, but they build self-respect. And when you feel that inner respect, you start to move different. You stop looking for validation because you've earned your own. You don't have to change your life in a day, but you do have to do something today. You need to put one stone in place and then another tomorrow. Over time, you've built a solid foundation. You don't notice it while you're doing it, but it becomes clear after a while. The people who win in the long run aren't the ones who make big promises. They're the ones who stay consistent with small actions, even when it's not exciting. Sometimes your biggest win of the day is just not quitting. It's choosing to try again. Even after you've failed before, it's resisting the urge to give up. That's a win. That's strength. And the more you build those moments, the stronger you get. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be committed. Committed to doing something that moves you forward every day. When you focus on small wins, you stop being overwhelmed by how far you still have to go. You stay grounded. You feel in control. You stop waiting for the right moment and start doing what you can with what you have. That's how people make real progress. They take responsibility for the day in front of them. Each small win is like casting a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Do it enough, and it becomes your identity. You're no longer someone who's trying to change. You are someone who does the work. You're someone who values progress, not perfection. You start living with purpose, not pressure. People often ask, how do I stay motivated? You stay motivated by stacking small wins. Every win gives you a little more confidence, a little more energy, a little more momentum. And momentum is powerful. It makes the next action easier. It makes the process feel lighter. But it starts by doing something small right now. You don't need a full plan for the next 10 years. You need to ask yourself, what's one thing I can win today? That question keeps you focused. It reminds you that every day counts. It stops you from drifting. You stay locked in because you know these small moves are leading to something greater. It's easy to scroll through social media and feel like everyone else is ahead. But what you're seeing is the highlight, not the process. You don't see the hours they put in, the decisions they made when no one was watching. You don't see the mornings they got up early, the nights they stayed focused, the sacrifices they made. But that's where the real change happens. In the quiet, in the small, in the repeated effort. You don't need to compete with anyone else. You just need to beat the version of you from yesterday. That's all. And the way to do that is to win one more small battle than you did before. If you usually quit at the first sign of discomfort, push 1 minute longer. If you usually skip your routine, follow through today. That's the kind of decision that builds strength. If you keep stacking small wins, something happens to your mindset. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes things work out, and you become someone who makes things. You stop saying someday and start saying now. Your standards go up, your confidence goes up, and life starts to respond to that. People who achieve great things don't wait for perfect days. They use what they've got where they are and they make it count. They understand that a big future is made from small actions, stacked together over time. If you want to be one of those people, that's chasing intensity and start honoring consistency. Every day you have two choices. You can waste the day, or you can win. And winning it doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It means doing something meaningful. It means improving in some way. It means leaving the day stronger than you found it. And if you do that often enough, change becomes unavoidable. Even on days when you feel tired, overwhelmed, or unsure, you can still get a win, a small one. Maybe it's sending one message, finishing one task, doing one workout, writing one page, or learning one thing. These are the bricks that build your future. And the only way to keep building is to keep placing them down, one at a time, every single day. Number 6, excuses don't build character. Action does. Excuses come easy. When things get tough, when pressure mounts, or when fear shows up, the first thing many do is find a reason why they can't move forward. It's a natural reaction. Our mind looks for the quickest way to avoid discomfort or failure. But the truth is, excuses don't create anything worthwhile. They don't bring you closer to your goals. They don't help you grow as a person. What builds character, what shapes your future, is action. Character isn't something you're born with. It's developed through the choices you make, especially when it's hard. It's the result of doing the right thing, even when you don't feel like it. When excuses start whispering in your ear, action is what drowns them out. It's stepping forward despite fear or doubt. It's showing up when no one is watching. That's where real strength lives. Every excuse you make is a missed opportunity to prove to yourself that you're capable. You don't build your reputation by explaining why you failed to act. You build it by what you do, not what you say. You'll never become the person you want to be by finding reasons to pause. The moment you take responsibility and move forward is the moment you start growing. Life will always give you reasons not to do something. You'll hear about time, money, energy, setbacks, or distractions. Everyone faces these. The difference is how you respond. You can let these become excuses, or you can let them become challenges to overcome. That choice defines your character. Action always wins over excuse. Taking action means being honest with yourself about where you are and what you need to do next. It means pushing past the voice inside that says, not now, or I can't. It means breaking the cycle of hesitation. When you choose to act, you build confidence. You prove that you can handle discomfort, uncertainty, and failure. And those experiences shape you into someone stronger and wiser. You're not defined by your intentions or plans. You're defined by what you do consistently. The people who succeed don't have perfect lives or flawless plans. They have a commitment to act, no matter the circumstances. They move even when motivation is low. They take steps even when the path isn't clear. That's what separates winners from dreamers. Sometimes action means doing the hard things first, the things you'd rather avoid. It's choosing discipline over ease. It's making sacrifices today to gain something tomorrow. When you refuse to make excuses, you're saying that your future matters more than your present comfort. That decision will transform your life. Excuses feed fear. They keep you stuck in the same place. Action breaks the cycle. It creates momentum. Once you start moving, you realize that many of your fears were smaller than you thought. Many obstacles can be managed when you face them head on. Taking action opens doors. It creates options. It brings clarity. The process of acting builds skills. You learn by doing, by making mistakes, by adjusting course. Excuses stop learning. They freeze growth. You become a better version of yourself through effort. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You develop resilience, patience, and focus through continuous action. You owe it to yourself to stop justifying and start doing. Every excuse you say out loud or in your mind weakens your resolve. Every step you take strengthens your character. Life is waiting for people who show up. People who don't let excuses run their story. People who choose to be responsible for their success. There will be days when excuses sound louder than your willpower. Days when you feel overwhelmed, tired, or doubtful. That's the time to remember that character isn't built in easy moments. It's built in struggle. Action during those moments builds the most character. When you push through despite everything, you grow more than you realize. Excuses might seem like a shield, but they are actually a cage. They keep you locked in place, away from progress and change. Action is the key that opens that cage. When you choose action, you open yourself up to possibility and freedom. You allow your true potential to emerge. Your future self will thank you for every moment you chose to act, instead of making excuses. When you reflect back, you won't regret the challenges you faced. You'll regret the chances you didn't take, because you let excuses hold you back. Action leaves a legacy of courage and determination. This journey isn't about avoiding failure or discomfort. It's about learning how to respond when things don't go your way. Action means showing up to those moments and giving your best. It's how you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws at you. There's no shortcut to building character. It's earned through commitment and hard work. When you decide that excuses have no place in your life, you make room for growth, for achievement, and for real success. Action creates results. Excuses only create regrets. The power to choose is yours every single day. Number 7. Nobody owes you. Earn your success through effort. Expecting life to hand you success without effort is a mistake many people make. The truth is, nobody owes you anything. The world doesn't owe you respect, opportunities, or success just because you want it or think you deserve it. This is not about being harsh. It's about facing reality. Your progress depends entirely on what you do, the work you put in, and the effort you consistently bring to the table. Waiting for someone to notice your potential, waiting for luck to find you, or hoping that things will fall into place without your input leads nowhere. When you take responsibility for your own success, you understand that effort is the currency of achievement. The amount of energy and commitment you invest will determine the quality of your results. Success is never a gift. It's earned day by day, task by task. No one is responsible for your growth except you. This mindset shift is crucial because it empowers you. It puts control back into your hands. Instead of blaming circumstances or others, focus on what you can do today to move forward. Effort means showing up even when motivation is low. It means putting in the work when distractions pull you away. Effort means persistence despite setbacks or mistakes. It requires a commitment to do the hard work that most people avoid. That effort builds the foundation of your success and sets you apart from those who only wish for change. Understanding that nobody owes you anything also frees you from entitlement. Entitlement is a heavy burden that holds many back. It creates a false expectation that things should be easy or come without struggle. But when you let go of entitlement, you open your mind to learning, growing, and adapting. You become someone willing to earn every inch of progress. Look around. Every successful person you admire has paid a price. They have invested time, faced obstacles, and pushed beyond comfort zones. Their achievements are proof that effort leads to results. They didn't wait for favors. They created their own opportunities. That's a pattern you can follow. Effort also means being proactive. Instead of waiting for things to happen, you make them happen. You seek knowledge, develop skills, and reach out for connections. You prepare yourself so when opportunity comes, you're ready. This preparation through effort makes the difference between dreams and reality. This mindset guards you against excuses. When you know that no one owes you success, excuses become irrelevant. You accept your role in your story. It gives you power to change the script through your action. Excuses only waste time. Effort transforms time into progress. Effort requires discipline. It requires that you prioritize your goals above temporary comfort. The easy path rarely leads to success. Effort means choosing the harder road, the one that forces growth. It demands patience and consistency because big things take time to build. Effort also teaches resilience. When you face failure or criticism, you keep going. You learn from those moments instead of being stopped by them. Each time you push through, your confidence grows. You realize that setbacks aren't dead ends. They are lessons. The truth is, effort creates momentum. Once you start putting in work regularly, progress becomes visible. It fuels motivation and builds habits that carry you forward. That's why consistent effort is more important than occasional bursts of energy. The steady climb outlasts the quick sprints. Nobody will hand you success. Life isn't about waiting, it's about acting. Earning your success requires courage to face challenges head on. It calls for persistence to keep grinding when results aren't immediate. The process can be tough, but it's the only way to build something lasting. You have to earn your place, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal growth. Nothing valuable comes without effort. This reality can be freeing because it means you are in control. You are the one responsible for your progress. You can't blame others or circumstances. Effort sharpens your skills and expands your experience. It gives you stories to tell and confidence to move forward. It earns respect, not just from others, but from yourself. When you know you earned your success, it tastes better. It feels real and meaningful. Don't wait for permission or approval. Don't expect handouts or shortcuts. What you want requires action and effort. That's how you create value and opportunities. Effort turns dreams into achievements. When life challenges you, remember that nobody owes you anything. Your success depends on how hard you're willing to work. It's about showing up, putting in the hours, and doing the work that others won't. This work builds your character and your future. Effort isn't glamorous, but it's effective. It's the force behind every success story. Those who understand this principle don't rely on luck or chance. They rely on their own ability to act and persist. Every day, choose to invest your time and energy in the work that matters. That investment pays dividends over time. Effort compounds. Small, consistent actions build momentum and open doors. It's not about a single moment. It's about the sum of your efforts. Take ownership of your journey. Accept that success is something you earn. When you do, you set yourself apart. You do unstoppable. You transform from a hopeful dreamer into a determined doer. And that transformation begins with the effort you put in every single day. Number 8. Push past your limits. They're rarely real. Limits are often more in our minds than in reality. The boundaries you believe exist between what you can and cannot do usually come from fear, doubt, or old beliefs about yourself. Those limits hold you back more than any real obstacle ever could. When you face a challenge, the real question is not whether the limit exists, but whether you are willing to push beyond what feels comfortable. Your body and mind are capable of much more than you realize. Often people stop themselves before they reach their full potential because they believe they've hit a wall. But that wall is usually just a shadow, something created by habit, worry, or past failure. When you test yourself and go a little further than you thought you could, you begin to see those walls crumble. It takes courage to push past limits. It requires a willingness to feel uncomfortable and keep moving, even when your mind says stop. That discomfort is a sign you are growing. If it were easy, you wouldn't be stretching yourself. But growth never happens inside a comfort zone. It happens when you go beyond the boundaries you set for yourself. It's important to recognize that limits can become self-fulfilling. If you tell yourself you can't do something, that becomes a truth in your life. But if you challenge that thought and take action, you weaken the hold those limits have on you. Every time you push past what you believed was possible, you expand what you think you are capable of. When you feel tired, worn out, or defeated, those feelings don't necessarily mean your limit has been reached. Sometimes it's just your mind and body asking for a moment to adjust to the new level of effort. Give yourself permission to pause briefly, then get back to work. You will be surprised how often your strength returns stronger than before. People often confuse real limits with temporary setbacks. A setback is not the end. It's an obstacle to work around or through. True limits would be walls that cannot be moved. In most cases, those walls are cracks waiting for you to push through. Your job is to find the cracks and apply pressure where it counts. The feeling of hitting a limit can be a test of commitment. If you give up when things get hard, you reinforce those limits. If you continue despite difficulty, you send a message to yourself that limits are negotiable. This mindset turns challenges into stepping stones rather than stopping points. Pushing past limits means developing mental toughness. It's about training your mind to stay focused on the goal, even when distractions or doubts appear. Mental toughness is built through consistent practice of facing fears and pushing boundaries. It grows stronger with each experience you don't quit. Physical or mental exhaustion might tempt you to stop, but pushing through those moments builds stamina. Stamina is not just physical, it's emotional and psychological strength that keeps you going on days when motivation is low. Stamina allows you to do more than you ever thought possible. Many times, limits are created by comparisons to others. You might believe you can't match someone's success or skill, but your limits should be based on your own potential, not on what others have done. Everyone's journey is unique. Focus on your progress, and you will find that your limits are further away than you thought. Recognizing limits as illusions can transform how you approach challenges. It frees you from self-imposed restrictions and opens new possibilities. This awareness encourages boldness, creativity, and persistence. It pushes you to explore areas you might have avoided before. When you keep pushing, you build confidence. Each time you overcome what you thought was a limit, your belief in yourself grows. Confidence becomes fuel for the next challenge, making it easier to face bigger obstacles. This positive cycle strengthens your ability to achieve. Limits can also be the result of habits. When you stick to familiar routines, you limit your growth. Changing habits, trying new approaches, and experimenting with your capabilities expand what you believe is possible. Change feels risky, but is necessary to move beyond limits. Learning to recognize when a limit is real and when it's imagined is a skill. Real limits exist in physical laws and health boundaries, but most perceived limits are flexible. Your task is to test them safely and wisely, but without fear. When you feel like quitting, remind yourself that limits are often temporary states of mind. Pushing just a little further can break through those barriers. Success comes from persistence, the ability to keep going when others stop. The process of pushing beyond limits teaches valuable lessons. You discover your strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth. This self-knowledge helps you set better goals and understand what you truly want. It also builds humility because it shows you that growth is ongoing. Many people stop short of their potential because they accept limits too. They decide that their current state is good enough, or that change is too difficult. This mindset traps them in stagnation. Breaking free from this requires a decision to keep pushing even when it's uncomfortable. Pushing past limits is not reckless. It means testing boundaries carefully and with intention. It means listening to your body and mind, but not surrendering to every feeling of doubt or fatigue. It means being smart about how and when to stretch yourself. When you consistently challenge limits, you begin to see how much more you are capable of achieving. The boundaries that once felt solid become stepping stones to higher levels of success. Your life opens up in ways that wouldn't happen if you settled for comfort. Limits are a natural part of growth. They indicate where you need to focus effort and attention. But those limits should never be seen as permanent barriers. They are signals to push harder, think differently, and act with determination. Your ability to push past limits shapes your future. Each time you choose effort over ease, courage over fear, and action over hesitation, you build a stronger version of yourself. This strength influences every area of life: work, relationships, health, and personal fulfillment. The challenge is to recognize when a limit is your mind holding you back, and to have the willingness to push beyond it. Doing this changes your life because it transforms what you think is possible. It replaces doubt with confidence and fear with courage. By pushing past your limits, you create a path others might follow. You become an example of what is possible through persistence and determination. This leadership inspires not only your own success but encourages others to break free from their limits too. Each day is an opportunity to challenge yourself a little more. That daily choice to push beyond boundaries creates momentum. Over time, this momentum leads to extraordinary growth and achievement. The limits you once feared become distant memories replaced by new possibilities. Keep testing your limits. Keep challenging your assumptions about what you can do. You will discover that those limits were rarely real, and what you can achieve is far greater than you believe. Number 9. Progress is slow. Keep going anyway. Progress does not always come fast or in clear bursts. Often, it moves at a pace that feels frustratingly slow. You might work hard for days, weeks, even months and see only small improvements. This is where many people give up because they expect instant results or quick breakthroughs. But real progress is a steady climb, not a sudden leap. It's easy to feel discouraged when the changes you want are not happening immediately. The gap between where you are and where you want to be can seem huge and the path unclear. That feeling of slow movement is part of every success story. No one reaches meaningful goals without persistent effort over time. The key is to stay committed even when progress looks tiny. Small steps add up. Each day you push forward, you are building momentum. The body learns slowly, the mind adjusts gradually, and circumstances shift in response to repeated effort. Those tiny improvements multiply into big changes. Patience is a necessary companion in your journey. It's a skill to trust the process, even when the payoff is not visible. If you rush or seek shortcuts, you risk losing valuable lessons and creating shaky foundations. True progress is layered and requires time to build strength and resilience. Sometimes the slow pace is a test of character. It shows who is willing to put in the work without applause or recognition. This silent commitment is what separates those who achieve from those who fall short. Being willing to work hard with no immediate reward builds a deep sense of confidence and purpose. Slow progress forces you to focus on the daily routine rather than big goals alone. You learn to find meaning in consistent effort instead of distant outcomes. This focus shifts your attention to what you can control. Your actions each day, not external results. It empowers you to take responsibility for your success. Each day of effort, no matter how small, is a building block. Even when you don't see it, your skills are improving. Your mindset is strengthening, and your future is shaping. This unseen work is essential. It is like planting seeds that will grow into a strong tree, even if the roots are hidden underground. Frustration often comes from comparing your progress to others. Remember, everyone moves at their own pace. What looks easy or fast for someone else may have taken years of steady work. Focus on your path and trust that your efforts are bringing you closer to your goals, regardless of speed. When you feel like giving up, recall why you started. Remind yourself that every successful person experienced slow progress at some point. What made the difference was their choice to keep going. The willingness to keep moving forward in the face of slow change creates a powerful habit of resilience. Celebrate small wins along the way. Acknowledge the tiny improvements you make each day. This positive reinforcement keeps your motivation alive. It reminds you that your effort matters and that progress, no matter how slow, is still progress. Slow progress teaches humility. It shows that greatness is built over time, not overnight. This understanding protects you from unrealistic expectations and disappointment. It helps you develop a realistic view of success, grounded in steady work and perseverance. The discipline to keep going when progress is slow builds mental toughness. This toughness becomes a core strength that helps you face bigger challenges later. It prepares you for setbacks and obstacles without losing sight of your goals. This is the foundation for lasting achievement. Slow progress demands consistent focus. Distractions and temptations to quit become louder when you don't see quick results. You have to choose each day to ignore those voices and keep your eyes the process. This daily choice builds self-control and determination. There will be times when progress feels invisible. In those moments, trust that your effort is not wasted. The growth happening inside you, skills, mindset, character, is real even if results are delayed. This invisible work sets the stage for future success. Slow progress also allows you to adjust and improve. If everything happened quickly, you might miss important lessons. The gradual pace lets you learn from mistakes, adapt your approach, and deepen your understanding. This flexibility is essential for long-term success. Keep your goals clear but flexible. Understand that timelines may shift. The important thing is continuous movement forward, not how fast you get there. When you accept that progress is slow, you remove pressure and create space for steady improvement. Remember that life's most meaningful achievements require time. Building a career, mastering a skill, or creating a meaningful impact are all long-term endeavors. Accepting slow progress is part of respecting the effort needed for true accomplishment. Slow progress builds trust in yourself. When you see that your effort, repeated day after day, eventually produces results, you gain confidence in your abilities. This confidence is powerful fuel that drives you through future challenges. Your commitment to keep going is a declaration of your faith in yourself and your dream. It says that your vision is worth the effort, even when immediate rewards are missing. This mindset is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Through slow progress, you develop patience, resilience, focus, and humility, all qualities that make success sustainable. These traits protect you from burnout and disappointment. They help you enjoy the journey rather than just chasing the destination. Every step you take in the slow process is an investment in your future. The value of this investment grows over time. What seems like minimal progress today will turn into significant achievement tomorrow. The challenge is to embrace slow progress as a natural and necessary part of growth. Reject the urge to quit just because results aren't instant. Keep moving forward with determination, and you will arrive where you want to be. Slow progress is the proof that you are working in the right direction. It shows that you are committed and that change is happening beneath the surface. Trust the process, honor your effort, and keep going. Number 10, you either grind now or regret later. Every choice you make today shapes the reality you will live with tomorrow. The moments you decide to work hard, to push yourself beyond comfort, to focus on your goals, these moments stack up. They become your future. When you decide to avoid effort, delay action, or settle for less, that too builds a future, but it's one you may regret. This truth is simple and unchanging. Grind now or regret later. Grinding means showing up every day with purpose. It means doing the work even when motivation is low, when distractions are loud, and when the easy path calls. This discipline creates opportunities and opens doors that laziness and delay will close. The effort invested now becomes the foundation for your success later on. Regret grows from what was left undone. It is the weight carried by those who wanted more but chose comfort over effort. Regret is a heavy burden because it means looking back and realizing time was wasted, chances were missed, and potential was ignored. Regret never fixes the past. It only teaches a painful lesson that could have been avoided. Grinding today does not guarantee a life without challenges, but it prepares you to handle those challenges with strength. When you commit to your work now, you build resilience, skills, and habits that will serve you in tough times. Regret, on the other hand, leaves you vulnerable and unprepared for life's inevitable difficulties. The reality is that success is never handed out freely. It requires effort, sacrifice, and persistence. There is no substitute for grinding. Waiting for the perfect moment or easy conditions only delays progress and increases regret. Taking action now, imperfect as it may be, creates momentum and moves you closer to your goal. Grinding is not just physical work. It's also mental and emotional. It demands focus on what matters, pushing through doubt and fear, and maintaining faith in your vision. This daily commitment shapes your character, building confidence and a sense of control over your future. Regret grows when you hand over that control to excuses and distractions. The pain of grinding is temporary. It comes with early mornings, long hours, and the discomfort of stepping outside your comfort zone. But these moments are short compared to the lasting satisfaction of achievement and fulfillment. Regret is a longer pain, born from inaction, missed opportunities, and self-blame. Grinding is an investment in yourself. Each effort made today increases your skills, expands your knowledge, and strengthens your discipline. These investments pay dividends over time, allowing you to create the life you want. Regret is a debt that grows with every postponed decision and ignored responsibility. You must look honestly at your priorities. Are you willing to face the discomfort of hard work now? Or are you choosing temporary ease at the cost of future pain? This choice is yours and yours alone. Taking ownership of this decision is the first step to eliminating regret. Many people dream of success but fail to act consistently. They talk about what they want, but their actions don't match their words. Grinding means aligning what you say with what you do. It means proving your commitment through daily effort, not empty promises or wishful thinking. When you grind, you develop habits that create automatic progress. Discipline becomes a part of who you are. This consistency protects you from the temptation to quit when things get hard. Regret comes when you give up before you reach your potential, leaving your dreams unfulfilled. Grinding also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how talented you are, effort is required. It breaks down arrogance and builds respect for the process. Regret comes when pride stops you from working hard or asking for help when needed. The future is shaped by the actions taken today. If you choose to grind, you build a future full of possibilities. If you choose to avoid effort, you prepare a future filled with what ifs and if onlys. Regret fills the space where action should have been. Grinding creates freedom. It allows you to break free from limitations imposed by inaction and laziness. It builds options and empowers you to create your own path. Regret is the prison built by excuses and missed chances, trapping you in a life that falls short of your potential. You can't change the past, but you can control your present. Choosing to grind is a declaration that you will not be defined by regret. It means taking responsibility for your success and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Success requires a willingness to do what others won't. It requires sacrifice, focus, and relentless effort. Grinding is the price you pay for the life you want. Regret is the cost of giving up or waiting too long to start. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't is often this: grinding while others rest, pushing forward while others pause, and staying committed while others quit. This dedication builds character, confidence, and lasting success. You don't have to love every moment of the grind. There will be times it feels hard, unfair, or exhausting. But pushing through these moments separates you from the crowd and puts you on the path to greatness. Regret is not just about missing success. It's about missing the chance to become your best self. Grinding now shapes who you are becoming. It builds strength, discipline, and purpose. Ignoring this opportunity leaves you with regret that touches every part of life. No matter your current situation, the choice remains the same. Put in the work now and build a future you can be proud of. Avoid the effort, and you risk looking back with regret on all the chances you let slip away. The grind is not glamorous, but it is necessary. It is the daily choice to work hard, learn, improve, and persist. It is the force behind every accomplishment and breakthrough. Regret can be avoided by embracing this reality. Accept the discomfort of effort as the price of progress. Understand that the sacrifices you make today are the foundations of your future success. Keep your focus on the long term. The momentary struggle of grinding pales in comparison to the lifetime of regret you prevent. Your future self will thank you for the effort you put in today. Grinding now means no longer fearing failure or judgment. It means stepping into action regardless of doubt. It means proving to yourself that you are committed and capable. Regret often comes disguised as excuses and distractions. Grinding requires cutting through these lies and staying true to your goals. It demands honesty, courage, and relentless action. There is no middle ground. You are either working toward your dreams or drifting away from them. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you will begin the work that matters. Grinding builds momentum that carries you through tough times. It creates a rhythm of progress that becomes hard to break. Regret is the silence of missed opportunities and unfulfilled promises. The power to change your life lies in your daily choices. Choose to grind, and you choose growth, achievement, and fulfillment. Choose comfort and delay, and you risk a future filled with regret. Grinding now or regretting later is not just a saying. It is a fundamental truth about effort and success. Your actions today will define your life tomorrow.